Peace, peace. Y'all know the M.Reck room etiquette. Pound that like button. And this is Heavy Gems. I got my brother Talib with me. Talib, how you doing, good brother? Can you hear me?
Greetings and salutations, brother. I'm magnanimously well. Feeling great. Wonderful. What a beautiful day. I'm here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We need everybody to share this live. Hit the like button. Talib is gonna go right into it because it's some real critical information he gotta display to y'all. All right. So I'm gonna let Talib have the floor, and then we're gonna get into the exercise and all that. He gonna go right into what he gotta inform y'all on. You got it, my brother.
Thank you, brother. Well, I just wanted to bring to the people the awareness like right now that, you know, uh, there's some real major changes coming in this next year, you know. And one of those things is our food supply is about to really get devastated. That there has been, and I really want to bring this to people's attention so you can bring your awareness to it and we can collectively make a shift in this, because there are laws and regulations that are occurring right now which are taking all the rights from the farmers. Okay. And what this what they have been doing since the time we all had to stay in our homes is going to these farms and putting them in a position to actually have to destroy their crops or not receive the subsidized payments they get for the growth of these crops. They have destroyed millions and millions of birds due to a somewhat they're calling an outbreak in avian flu, but it has only affected about 10% of the total. And for some reason, they have done a culling on the chickens and turkeys and things of that nature. So there's about to be a shortage of chicken and also the cows. And what they've recently done, which farmers are coming out now and trying to let people know, is they have slaughtered a large portion of the the cows that would be used for reproduction, which means that there's going to be left beef on the shelves, and most importantly, the price of the meat is going to go up very high. The Netherlands is a place where you could look into this yourself, where they're actually conducting this now. The Netherlands is, I believe, one of either the first or the second largest supplier of farm produce to the world. And they have literally put in policies in place there now to remove 11,200 of these farmers. And that's literally all the farmers that they have. So this is definitely headed our way. So this is a very great time for everyone to begin to look at their diet, change your diet, reassess some of the things you eat that you feel you have to be eating, because it's not true anyway. And also, what I wanted to mention, because we were going to talk about what was going on with the tech billionaires that have been passing away. And the interesting thing is that they're mentioning it now only because two of them died together. And one of them was a Russian individual who was very wealthy and had spoken out against the regime in Russia, which would explain why he got dealt with. But they've been putting down these billionaires, crypto billionaires, for the last 5 years. The first crypto billionaire that ever made $1 billion, he was killed I want to say 3 years ago. But if you do a little of your own research and investigation, I always tell people, please don't take my word for it. I'm not here to be the Lord of information. I'm here to share what I've discovered, and collectively, and we create a different reality for ourselves. But I'm not here to be the Lord of the information. It is vital that people go and research this for yourself, because your perspective will always bring a different light to the subject. But also, this is all tied together because the actuality is these guys are starting to disappear. One is, I want to let everybody know, the cryptocurrency was created by the three-letter boys. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to start throwing that around too tough, but I think you understand when I say three-letter guys, or the alphabet gang. This is the dudes who created the cryptocurrency to begin with. The purpose of this cryptocurrency is to shift everyone off of the dollar and to put them on a blockchain system. They want the currency to be biological, meaning that the cryptocurrency is a part of a blockchain which is on a network. This is why they're promoting the promotion of people receiving chips to control their car and to get in and out of their house, and they're labeling it as the world's first superpower. It's an indefinite push to get everyone to take these chips. But the blockchain is the same thing they're doing in China. The money will turn into a social credit scoring system. You will be giving a universal income. Your living here will be, your citizenship will be based to what they're considering your contribution and behavior in society is. And that is exactly where this is heading. This is why they're protesting the lockdowns in China that they won't show us. The fact that they're covering the whole protest of the zero policy lockdown behind what's really going on in China. The fact that their monetary system has collapsed. And I would suggest anyone to go look into that, because we literally have been following the model of China this whole time. So when they do something, you better believe shortly after you're going to see a form of it in America. So the people there, they have come together, and this is why they won't show you it. The people have come together. They have united. And they can never show you a united people. But if anybody does any research into the things I just spoke to you about, it's enough to open up the door and move us in the right direction to shift into the reality we want to be in. And this is why you have the issues with these rappers happening right now on such a publicized scale, because they need our distraction more than anything. They need our attention and focus more than anything. So the best way to get it on our front is through the way that they hooked us in. Remember, we created rap music as we created many forms of music, but that music had been taken and manipulated and used against us. So whenever these rappers they're showing you the turmoil, the things they're going through, never forget the records they're promoting. And that will lead you back to the truth. And that's to say, remember, when they're calling people agents or saying, an agent is not somebody that's actually in the know of what they're doing. An agent is a person who is carrying out agenda, okay? And they can do this knowingly or unknowingly. They don't have to know, okay? And when some of these rappers do, at time they find out or really catch on or really go, oh, it is real, it's too late. It's too late for them to do anything. You see? And this is why I'm saying, like, you look at once you step out of the game, which is, how do you step out of the game? Emotionally detach from it. You got to emotionally detach from it. Then you can see what's actually happening. See, we know that because we live in a reality of war and survival and violence. That's what we have attuned our attention to. So we know that when you get out of line, they've shown us this time and time, they've ingrained this in our DNA, that if you get out of line, they're going to kill you. Okay? And this is what we've been shown. And it doesn't matter what the person tries to hide behind, it doesn't matter. Remember, you're going, one person cannot fight an army. So when you hear these rappers come out talking about they're talking against the system, they're going to fight the man, this is a tactic. This is a tactic to attract your attention in a direction. It is the Hegelian dialect. It is a way of problem, reaction, solution. They show you a problem. You react to it. Then they tell you this is what we should do. And notice when this all jumped off with Yi, or how he self-describes, when that all jumped off, notice that's exactly where everybody's mind went to. We need to do this. This is what we need to do. And then all these people you don't know, you've never heard of, you cannot go out and meet yourself, start telling you, yeah, you know what, this is what we need to do, this is where we at, and listen, black people, y'all, and notice they always want to call us stupid and dumb and foolish. What's wrong with you? Disregarding that they have spent $1 trillion campaign to put you in the lowest vibrate frequency known to man. How are you stupid? How are you dumb? It's a game. It's a trap. It's just a trap. You the only truth that is. From your perspective, in your shoes, you are the only truth. They know this. That's why all of this material is psychological, scientific. TV, movies, the stuff you watch, all of this stuff is psychological. Anybody who studies storytelling or writing scripts will know that as soon as you do that, you learn, oh my God, everything I've ever watched was never about what I was watching. It was about the story underneath the story, the moral, the educational value. Right? So none of these people, the truth, remember, it was the last poets that said, the revolution will not be televised. And people didn't understand what that actually meant. They thought they were saying like, oh, well, it's not going to be on TV. But what he actually meant, and if you go listen to him explains it, what he meant was the war that was coming in your mind. That this revolution, that us standing up, that us making a change in our life is not going to come from an outside source. It has to come from within. And that's why you got people like Yi and people like Kyrie and people like all of these NBA stars that are telling you anything about life as if they aren't a part of the decadent veil that exists in this country. As if they don't know that not even not even a full percentage of the young people that actually have talent and want to try out for the NBA will never make it to the NBA, will never make it to the NFL. It's a decadent veil. It's a lie. And these are the people that are telling us, oh, this is what's going on. This is what you need to do. If you just step outside and see, you'll see it's all a very big orchestrated game. And the people playing in it, they're not all involved in it. Some of them are just like us. They just wanted to be something. And they had a desire to be something outside of themselves so much they allowed someone else to lead them down a path outside of themselves. So this is great. This is an opportunity for us to change our diet. This is an opportunity for you to go to your local nursery, which is where you buy plants and seeds, and buy you a tomato seed. Experiment with growing plants. Start practicing fasting. We've been lied to. The 4 basic food groups, 3 meals a day, all of that was a lie from a system that was designed to suck everything out of you. And anyone who does a little bit of homework in that will learn that no, it had nothing to do with actual nutrition. They actually took all nutrition away from you. They took natural grains and that had B13 in it and replaced it with wheat. They're killing off all the animals that we supposedly eat, but in the lab, they've come up with something called meat glue. I suggest everyone to go look up meat glue. The fish in Walmart, if you go look at the fish that's in those bags, you'll see it's not actual fish. It's a combination of chemicals and water. That's why if you defrost it too much, it falls apart in terms of like a paste. Right? Why? Because they want to keep us functioning on our lower vibrational frequencies. There's only 2 reasons to eat food: the experience and nourishment. That's it. Right? All of that going on is just designed to keep you from asking yourself the most important question you could ever ask yourself. Am I this person that I was told I was? Or am I awareness? Am I the observer? That's the most important question we can ask ourselves. Silence is what they're trying to keep from us. Silence is what they want to keep from you. They don't want you to obtain silence. If you obtain silence, you step into your God state. If you obtain silence, now you're the creator of your reality and you shift to where you want to go. But there's always noise. There's always frequency banging up against you of confusion. Well, then you just fall farther into the dreamland and you begin to believe that the things that are happening in front of you are real. And they know this. They don't have any power. Their only power is the stories that they tell us that we believe. And the story they're about to tell you is another shutdown is imminent. And that's, I don't want to, that was my cohesive thought that I was having. I don't want to rant it. You there?
Yes, sir. I'm here, good brother.
Yeah, that was my cohesive thought on that. You know,
Hmm.
if anybody had any questions or if you care to ask me something about that, I'm more than happy to share about it. But I don't want to ramble and then start circling in on myself.
Got you. You want to take some calls as well? Because I'm gonna put it out there, the number.
Yes.
Okay. So call us up 310-598-2974. Or if you got any questions, you could put it in the chat room and I'm gonna put it on the screen and Talib is gonna respond to your questions. Oh, somebody mentioned because I know you spoke about this behind the scenes. Somebody just mentioned China on lockdown.
Yeah, like I was saying, because we're big partners. See, the setup is that they trying to make you believe that they against each other, right? This is what they try to convince you of. But you never asked yourself if there was really against each other like that. How could one president or one leader fly into another country without an army, go into that guy's house, and come out alive? Hmm? You see what I'm saying? Nobody asked themselves that. They in bed together. They don't care about their people either. Right? They're shifting the entire world paradigm and they're doing it through confusion. And that confusion is the illusion that these people are working against each other, that they're at war with each other. China's bad. China's bad. Russia is bad because Putin speaks for the 20, what is it, about 100 million people that exist there. They've taught us to generalize, so we just throw everything into a collective umbrella, right? China, is it China or is it Xi Jinping? Ping. Is it China or is it the ruling? Is it America or is it the ruling factions in America? Because last I checked, by definition, America is just a land. They got us all twisted around and thinking, oh yeah, we about to go to war with China. We about to go to war. It's war in Ukraine, but video games are coming out from Ukraine right now. Right? Oh, Ukraine. Yet and still, they done sent they done sent almost $1 billion to Ukraine, and it ain't stopped the war. But when you bring up reparations, well, we need a study on that. We need to see that could bankrupt America. And just so you know, that California came to the decision that it would be about, I think it was $5 billion was owed, and they were.
Hold on, good brother.
Okay.
Hold on. I want you to build on that, but we got a caller. And that's another topic I wanted you to build on anyway. The California reparations. But we got a caller. So caller, state your name and where you calling from and mute your TV or your computer, please.
How you doing?
Mute your TV or your computer, please, good brother.
Okay. Oh God, mute that, John. Hold on, mute that.
Or just turn it off right
Give me
now.
1 second.
You just turn it off right now.
Okay, turn it off. Hold on, mute that. Oh, just turn it off right now. 1 second. Turn it off right now. Turn it off. Okay, turn it off. No, hold on, mute that. Oh, just turn it off. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was listening, man. It's John Deep. So I had to call in real quick. I mean, and once again, Talib, I'm a big fan of yours also.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Salute everything you're saying, for sharing the information, for bringing awareness to what's going on. And man, we heard about it for a long time is like the is the New World Order, basically, that you brushing up on. And I mean, the details going in. This is big, man. As far as what they're about to do with the food, and it's crazy because I was on a fast. I'm on a fast now. Hello, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm listening, brother. You have my undivided attention.
He can hear you, brother. I don't know. Sometimes him communicating with the callers directly, I don't know, but he hear you. Trust me. He hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so man, it's definitely that. Like you said, the what they doing, man. Them elite is definitely playing games with the mind of the people, and I mean, it's time for people to wake up. And sometimes it's funny the way you brought it up, though, because now they just been throwing us off. But I always thought in my mind, because I've been hearing about the New World Order, and you hear about it on the money, subscribe this, and so everybody been getting it. But I've been saying, if it's going to be a New World Order, then there's no possible way that they all can be beefing. In order to be a New World Order, they got to come together. So what you saying definitely resonates to the people that have been paying attention.
Mm. Well, I'm glad that it resonates because it's true.
I just had to call up in, man, because this is deep, and I think we at that time, man. I think it's a battle that's going to occur eventually, long down the line between good and evil. You're going and pretty soon you have to get down and lay down. But it's funny because it seemed like, I mean, like you said, the three lettermen, they've been the ones that been orchestrating everything. And I always said this. I became a history major in college, and I always said this: it's important to know the history because you can know where they starting. You can pretty much know where they want to end up. And we started in slavery and bondage, and sure enough, they want to keep us there. But man, I definitely appreciate y'all taking my call. I'm gonna definitely continue to get the insight. But man,
Let him just hey, M.Reck. If he, I don't know, he can't hear me, but I want him to know that we didn't start in slavery and bondage. That's the story they gave us about ourselves. That's what they told us. And someone in the comment asked, reparations for what? For the atrocity committed to the indigenous aboriginals whose identity was stripped from them, who roam this land that is their own with no rights. Because civil rights didn't give us rights. Civil rights gave immigrants rights. You see, because the whole game is keep you in the dark. Slavery didn't happen the way they said it happened. See, that was a war. And there were prisoners of that war, and there was businesses that was already in play, farms already owned. They brought in the same system that they used in South Africa, and they brought it over here. There were no ships during the time of slavery. There were only skiffs, wherries, and rowboats. So where did a slave ship come from? African American is not even a term that we created for ourselves. It was a political campaign slogan created by Jesse Jackson when he was running for president. Before, we named ourselves after our hair, Afro-American. But if you do your homework and check in them books, you're gonna find out you never was an African American when they named you Negro or Black. Previous to that, you were considered to be an indigenous Aboriginal.
Yeah, Cole, I hear you. Hold on one second. Peace,
But
my brother.
I'm good. I just want to say that.
Yeah, not a problem. We got a call on the line. Maybach Mel, what's happening, good brother?
Salute to y'all kings, man. Salute, Talib.
Salute.
This is my type of coffee and cup of tea, brother. I study political science. Don't mean that I know everything, but this is my type of subject as far as stuff like this be going. Let me say real quick, right? There was something that happened in New York we should know years ago, early 2000s. People are just coming around now. Yo, Maybach, you were telling the truth. After I did my research, I see that it was a, inside thing that went. I'm like, yo, so what we saw on the news, you believe it? People, listen, we still have people that are still not awake. I don't really like to use the word woke because it has a different type of meaning or definition to it. But we still have sheeples out here that are still asleep, that are still being distracted while real things is going on. Like you mentioned with the shortage of food, we've been hearing that for so long. I don't know if anybody know or if they have like 99 restaurant where other people live at, but every Thursday you can buy 50-cent wings. Now, if we've been having a shortage of chicken for the last few years, how come I still can go to a restaurant, get a bucket of chicken, get 100 of chicken for me and my homies to eat if we have a shortage of food? So what type of meat is that? I think I might have sent you I probably didn't, M.Reck, but there's a cooking show that's infamous on one of these TV shows, and he served human flesh to the judges and asked them, do they think it's human flesh, pork meat, or some other type of meat? And they all thought it was that type of meat because they didn't believe that this dude can serve them human flesh. It's been proven in some of that's why I fell back big time on hamburger meat. You know what I'm saying? A few people done sent, packs of meat to the lab. It's coming back with some form of human DNA connected to it. A lot of the food is contaminated. Why is that? Why is 75% of our food in America has a bunch of stuff in it, but in the UK, only 10% of their food is contaminated? How come a third world country doesn't have fluoride or chlorine added to their water? Why is that? But why in the US, we have that? And San Diego was the only city that fought for 60 years. I ended up watching a documentary called Our Water. All right.
He's right.
And it was about them adding the fluoride and chlorine or chloride to our water, which is making us brittle and all of that stuff. Like, I even have this, listen, we can't even get through our own family members at times. Not to throw my kid's mother under the bus, but I've been telling her for years, like, there is no benefits from fluoride until the CDC just admitted to it like months ago. Oh yeah, it doesn't. Bro, I do environmental work. And I was told that fluoride comes from mining and fracking. So how good is it? You know what I mean? When I grew up in the 80s, there wasn't no fluoride added. Like even
they consider it to be a carcinogenic.
When they do lab tests on it, it's coming back as laundry detergent. Bro, so come on. Everything can't be a conspiracy. Everyone thinks. And then when you ask the person, do you know where that word where did it come from? Did you know the CIA created that word when JFK, he did? Or where you get that information? YouTube? So that's why I said, I'm not in the business of trying to convince people. I get around the like-minded people. Somebody like Talib, I could sit at any table with him. If he drinks coffee, we could sip coffee and have these conversations all day. If we smoke blunts, M.Reck, you too. There's a bunch of like-minded people. These are the people that, when stuff hit the fan, because like you said, Talib, I've been studying that for the last 10 years. They've been saying a pandemic happened, right? That happened. There's another one that's about to happen. There's something coming. There's something brewing. Why did New York build those things in the subways, the floodgates or doors they built? Why? Because it's been predicted and it's in the good book that there's supposed to be a major flood in a U.S. city. They said in a few more years, Florida is going to be underwater. Like, people hear these information, and don't get me wrong. I'll be the first to put my right hand in the sky. In the 90s, when I was going in and out of prison, I had a gentleman tell me there's going to be a TV with no back. He never said flat screen. He said a TV with no back. I looked at this man. I was ignorant at that time. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at him like, bro, where you getting this information from? Who you tied into? Where's this stuff coming from? I thought he was crazy. And when flat screens came, I'm like, oh, wow, I was told this. Brother, I used to read, real quick, I'm going to end it with this. Dr. Malachi Z. York. We should know what he's locked up in the feds for, but he came out with a book called Right Knowledge. He mentioned the planet Numeral in 1994 in that book. So who was I to read that book and be like, oh, he don't know what he's talking about. He's crazy. And then the government comes out and says, oh, guess what, guys? We just discovered a new planet. Bro, listen, people need to wake up. And if people believe, listen, I lived in Florida, that's second home. I want everybody to know there's nothing going out there to space that they want you to believe. It's all lies. Von Braun, even on his tombstone, quotes something from the good book to let you know that we live in the firmament, which is also called a dome. So nothing's going out there. But if you want to believe that, well, it's like, listen, this is another thing. Knowing and believing is two different things. When you say you believe something, you're in doubt. You don't want to believe anything because people believe in lies, cults, and negative things. You want to know, and it's facts. So if the government is telling me that they doing this, who am I? And it's documented on paper. Why are we like disregarding it? Like I said, man, we can't save everybody. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that is like-minded and on the same high frequency, like, listen, my street and 2 blocks away, we all doomsday preppers. So if stuff hits the fan, we all protecting each other for at least 4 blocks. We got canned goods. We got pills. We got everything. God forbid if something happens and hits the fan. We got walkie-talkies that they put in special type of thing. Man, listen, I could go on and on, but I'm not trying to expose stuff. People need to wake up and pay attention to what's going on. Don't take what you see on TV and think that this is gospel and that's exactly what it is, because they only want you to know what they want you to know. So think about that. And they always said, if you want to put information in, and you don't want people to find out or melanated people to find out, put it in a book, because we don't read. So I'm going to end it off like that. Salute to y'all brothers. Keep cooking up. I'm going to go back and listen to the show. Peace and blessings to both of y'all, and salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to the Rec Mob.
Peace and blessings, Maybach Mel. Appreciate
that was powerful. That was powerful.
Yeah.
Well, that was powerful. I just want to say that was powerful.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Shouts to Maybach Mel.
Wow. One thing I'll say is this: that's sort of a falsehood, though. If you want to keep something from Black people, put it in a book. That's not true. If you want to hide something, you hide it in plain sight. So if you want to keep something from Black people, you put it in a movie.
Oh, hold on one second, good brother. We got another call. Peace.
Peace. It's King Tone.
King Tone, hold on, my brother. Take me off speaker, my brother, if you can.
Got you. All right, that's better?
Yes, sir.
All right. Y'all want to jump on what Son was just speaking about. I wanted to say that he's right. That's why there's a difference between faith and belief. Disney is called the land of make-believe or make-believe. You know what I'm saying? That's dealing with your personal belief system. You know what I'm saying? So truth is self-evident. That's something that don't have to be told to you. The truth resonates within you. Okay? Also, prophecy. Prophecy is real, y'all. A lot of people, the first thing they say when you bring up the book, you know what I'm talking about, they will say, yo, the Bible got changed, this, that, and the third. Let me ask you this. If you have any intelligence, not you, Rec, but I'm just speaking in general, why would anybody need to change something that's a lie? Why would they need to change something that's a myth? That's a fantasy. They're not changing Spider-Man comic books. They're not rewriting, you know what I'm saying, certain things. They're not playing with. They're not rewriting the Santa Claus story. Why do they have to keep changing something if it's a lie? You feel me?
Well, let me say this to him. They have changed the Spider-Man story.
That's why
They've changed every story right now. Matter of fact, this is why Hollywood is losing money, because they're changing all the stories and nobody seems to really like it.
It's the only word that combines past, present, and future all in one. And the Bible has a code. Why? It was originally written in Hebrew. Hebrew is a language that is a light language. It's read from right to left because you're from the heart. The heart is on your left side of your body. That's why when soldiers march into the battle, they scream left, 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 right, because you got to march into battle with your heart. You got to speak everything from the heart. And what you believe in, or what you have faith in, more so, has to be in your heart. That's why you write the word on your heart.
And he's 100% right.
Everything is
I was just,
that's why you see the Egyptians who was
I don't know if you can hear me, man.
Christ.
Brother, I don't know if you can. Hey, Breck, I don't know if you can hear me.
They put
he can't hear
they
you.
put the heart on a scale. What happened?
Nah, Tone, go ahead. Continue building. I'm gonna just say this to Talib. He can't hear you, so let Tone finish speaking, and then Talib, you can respond after he's done.
Yeah, because I'm feeling everything he's saying. I just wanted to, keep building it.
Scale with a feather, because you can't get to the higher levels once you leave this physical body and go to the higher dimensions. Heavenly places is what they call. We are encapsulated in a dome called a firmament that was put in place by the Creator. Okay, and when the first camera was made, which was made by a man of color, a black man, he created something called a firmament. That firmament is what sparked light out of darkness. I'm gonna leave it right there. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the time you gave me. Always salute to you, Reck. You always show me love. I'm still sticking and moving out here like a ninja. It's still real. I appreciate you, bro.
Not a problem, good brother. I appreciate you, King Tony. Great assessment.
Salute. I'm gonna go. You want me to stay on the line, or you want me to just pop back in the chat and listen to Son?
Yeah, just pop in the chat, because for some reason Talib can't hear the callers, and you can't hear him respond for some reason. I don't know. They did something on his end. That's all I'm gonna say. Them people, you know what I mean, where he can't hear the callers.
Okay.
So yeah, just
lock
into the chat.
No.
Yeah, you already
know.
know.
But I'm gonna listen to his feedback in the chat. You know what I'm saying? But always salute. Love the convo.
Salute, my brother. Thank you. Great assessment.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, Talib.
So, here's the thing. Lies always have to be upgraded. Right? He was saying that they didn't change. Yes, they did change Spider-Man. They made Spider-Man gay.
Hold on.
All right. And there was a big outrage over that.
Hold on. Right now, let Talib build. Y'all can call up in like 5 minutes. Let him build for 5 minutes. Everybody that's calling, let the brother Talib build for 5 minutes, please. All right? Yeah, Talib.
This is what they're calling the culture war in pop culture or in cinema culture right now. And that culture war is that you have all these properties now because there has been a writer's strike that's been going on since 2001. Okay? This thing has been happening for a very long time. If you ever wonder why all of these comic book films and renditions of books and things that you never heard of keep getting all this play from films, it's because they don't have writers, or they're not willing to give them what they deserve. Okay? And a lot of the good writers don't want to write what they want them to write. So there lies your problem. But see, they've been changing all the stories, right? Okay? Remember, Superman has always been an alien. But when we were growing up, do you ever recall thinking of Superman as an alien? No. They redefined Superman in The Man of Steel to be dark, brooding, and bring an alien invasion to the planet and do something that is against his character in all ways that we know him. And that was to kill someone. And he didn't just kill someone, he killed one of the last surviving people of his planet. There's a big shift in that reality right there, right? I'll give you another example. Look at the Avengers, right? They spent 10 years setting up these characters for you, right? And then in less than 2 years, they destroyed the entire legacy. Replaced every character right on Disney Plus. There is your new Avenger ensemble for anyone that is into that. Just go look, you'll see. Oh my God, they did. They replaced everyone. Matter of fact, none of these stories are actually right. They twisted everything around. They've been twisting stories, and that's how lies work. And that's why if you ever notice you deal with someone who's a liar and you get in an argument with them, they never stay on track. They're constantly shifting and changing their story. Right? That inner truth is unwavering. It's always has been and always will be. And there's only one truth. And the only truth is your awareness. Now you can call that God, right? But the fact of the matter is, it is just your awareness. Everyone is you pushed out. That's where they get the theory of the hologram. Remember, every portion of a hologram, any point you zoom into a hologram, contains the entire hologram. Now, think about it. Not one person can pull the universe out and just give it to all of us. It doesn't work that way. Each one of us is individually producing the universe. We're saying and collectively agreeing, hey, that's the universe. Hey, that's water. That's the ground. We're collectively deciding things, but individually we're doing them at the same time. There's only one truth, and that is what you give your attention to. And as far as the Bible is concerned, the reason the Bible comes across as a lie to a lot of people, or to be something that is untrustworthy, is because it was given to us out of context. The people in the Bible are not about the people in the Bible living during that time. The people in the Bible represent states of consciousness. Because all you are is states of consciousness. You don't die. You're not going to experience what we who are observing you call death. And I clinically died twice. I was in a coma. Anyone who's been in some tragic stuff where they went unconscious, all you remember is you let go. You let go and went somewhere else. That's how it happened for you. That's the game. They've conflated everything to something outside of yourself. And by doing so, it makes you powerless. When the truth is, the power of everything and that powers the universe is awareness. Consciousness. And that is you. So when you leave here, you'll just be leaving here and taking your awareness somewhere else, shifting it to some other portion and sector in this infinite thing of life that you've created for yourself to experience. And the reason I bring up and want to share the stuff that's going on in the world is at the same time to counter it, to let you know that, okay, this is what's happening. Did you know you have the power to change that just by shifting your awareness to that which you truly desire? That's where the power of being a human lies. The 3D world is just an interpretation. It's not real. You're real. You're the only real thing here. And it may be a lot, or some people may not understand or accept all that. I do know this, though. There is a higher knowing in you that does accept it. Someone said, tell kids in Africa that, but that's your story because you're not in Africa with those kids. See, you only have right now. There is only now. There's only now. There's always only been now. Okay? And whenever you are outside of your now moment, you are outside of the high levelness of the God, of God. If you want to look at it as God, then that's fine. People look at it as the universe. Some call it higher intelligence. Some call it infinite intelligence and infinite spirit, right? It doesn't matter the name you give it. For it exists beyond names, for it is the creator of names. So it has many names. Right? But there's only right now. And their game is to keep you in the past and the future. Your past is defining your now. Your now, if you drift from it in your imaginative act, designs and creates your future. Objectively, the past is behind you. The present is where you stand, and the future lies in front of you. But subjectively, the past is on the right of you, and the future is on the left of you. And you stand in the now. And someone said, what about Jesus? But if you read the Bible, Jesus told you you are Jesus. It's an allegory for consciousness. Jesus is a state of consciousness, and when we are aligned with our divine awareness, higher self. Right? So that's what I wanted to say. I was also responding to some people in the comments. So if someone asked, what are you talking about? Well, I was also responding to some of the comments at the same time that people were asking or replying to. So, and that's what I wanted to say, brother. Thank you.
Not a problem, good brother. I'm gonna get back to a few callers. All right.
Yes, sir.
He's been calling for a minute. What's this number right here? 216-924. I'm calling you now. So have your TV or computer muted, and calling you right now. Pound that like button, everybody. Let's get the likes up. We got over 800 people in the room. Should be over 800 likes. Oh, that person didn't pick up. Like, comment, subscribe. I'ma call somebody else.
Hello?
Peace, good brother.
Peace, man. What's going on, man? It's Tio. What's going on, M.Reck?
What's going on?
What's going on, bro? Talib. Appreciate everything y'all guys are doing, man. Somebody, in a good book also says that, a fool don't seek wisdom, you know what I mean? So thank you for giving me this wisdom, you know what I mean, so I can receive it. But anyways, I want to go back. I want to see if I could touch base on that, about the original indigenous no, I'm sorry, I can't even speak to that, bro, about that. And the reason why I want to bring that up, because, I'm Puerto Rican, and I'm a Puerto Rican. I was born in New York City from parents that came from Puerto Rico, and I kind of know a lot of Puerto Rican history, prior to compared to just a very normal Puerto Rican. It just I try to go back and read a lot about everything that happened in the past. It was said that if you know about history, you won't make the same mistake twice. So so what I was gonna see is because back in when after the Spanish American War or whatever, you had a governor. The first governor of Puerto Rico under the United States was actually a man named Robert Herbert Allen. And Robert Herbert Allen was basically was put there by the president at the time, which was I think Theodore Roosevelt. But he was there with an agenda, and it speaks to what you're saying about hierarchies. It's not really America. America's the land. It's the people that are basically the hierarchies of it that are running it. In Puerto Rico, a lot of people had their own land back then. And when Robert Herbert Allen took over, he basically did the same thing we say the United States did with the people here in actual America. You know, there was a storm that came through, destroyed everything. They didn't want to, give aid to Puerto Rico. So what they did is they forced people to come out with mortgages to pay off their land, to fix their land. But because there was no type of policy or anything like that to restrict them for not, for the interest rates to go high, a lot of those people, they went freaking, they had to go bankrupt. And 85% of the land in Puerto Rico actually went to the banks that were basically placed for our Robert Herbert Island. What I'm trying to say is that what you're saying about it is a hierarchy just blinding us. The same thing that blinded the people in Puerto Rico at that time and took their land. And I just wanted to relate that together because, the whole Puerto Rican situation in Puerto Rico about, if it's a state or not a state is all in flux. A lot of people don't know that we couldn't raise up our flag until 1954, and, it's basically the same thing. And we're all part of America, basically part of that same system. So I totally agree. There is something going on there trying to blind us and lead us another way instead of actually going the right way or the truth, I would say. I just want to say that. Thank you, fellas. I appreciate everything you guys do. Keep on doing the good work. Peace.
Not a problem. Appreciate you. Thank you.
That was wow. That was super insight. See, people know the truth. It's not being broadcast as a collective. It's not what we consider to be general knowledge. But you have to remember that through conditioning, psyops, and programming and education, a lot of people have developed something called cognitive dissonance.
Hold on, good brother. Peace.
A lot of people have developed.
Mute your audio, please. Anytime you call M.Reck TV, have your audio muted, please. Please. Have your TV muted. You can always watch the rebroadcast on the playback. Please. It bleeds into the show. Peace. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, peace. You
Yo,
live,
what's
good
good?
brother. You live.
I'm live?
Yeah, you live, good brother.
Yeah. I just wanted to call and ask my people, they always say that if you want to keep stuff from us, put it in a book. Well, it's turning out to seem kind of true because we always saying some very ignorant shit. And what I'm getting at exactly is that whole thing about the firmament. And, that's nonsense. There's too much science to disprove the existence of a firmament. Like, how are things always crashing to Earth if there's a firmament so things can get in, but we can't get out? Somebody please explain the physics on that to me. I'm dying to know that. It makes absolutely no sense. So that's all I ask. My people, please, learn some real science and real knowledge. That's all.
Right, good brother. Talib is going to answer that.
Well, here's the reality of that. I don't really get into those debates with people for one reason. You or me are not allowed to go to space. And that is the only thing that should concern you. Not that you don't know how to get there, but that even if you had the means to get there, you're not allowed to go. You're not allowed to go to the South Pole. You're not allowed to go to the North Pole. You're not allowed to go to Antarctica. You're not allowed to fly a plane across any stretch of land without registering with air traffic control and take it from someone who has gone to pilot school and can fly 77 single engine. Half the airspace is government control. You can't, you basically flying in a straight line. So I can't say that, oh yeah, there's the firmament up there, and yeah, I can show you that there has been, times they've launched rockets up in the air and they have exploded. It's seemingly like it hit something, but then again, I don't know if that's why the rocket exploded, right? That's because I wasn't there and I have nothing to do with the launch of that rocket. I do know this, that the moon is in the Earth's atmosphere. This is by science. This is what they have acclaimed. So technically, we've never been to outer space, because no human has actually flown past the moon. I do know that. I do know that a lot of things we call facts, like gravity, is still listed as a theory. I know that wormholes are theories, but yet and still, it's exact science when they tell you that because the Earth, precession, and magnetic field is aligned with the sun, there are times where those two magnetic fields align and create a wormhole, and solar particles enter into the Earth's atmosphere. They believe that's how Mars was destroyed. I do know that science is riddled with contradictions, and the science we accept is called funded science.
Hold on, good brother. Got a caller. Peace. Mute your audio, please. I keep saying this. Anytime you call, you're on the phone, please turn off your TV. Do not call with your TV on while you're on the phone. It's going to bleed into the show. Peace.
Peace.
Yes.
See, now, this is what I'm talking about. We said that gravity is listed as a theory. No, gravity is not listed as a theory. Gravity is a real thing, but its origin, or the cause of gravity, the exact origin of gravity, is not known.
Hold on, my brother.
So,
My brother, your phone is glitching out. Your phone is glitching out.
It's called the theory of gravity. I didn't say that the effects of what we're calling gravity isn't felt. I'm saying what it's listed as.
I'll call you back, bro. Yeah, go ahead. Build.
It's listed, and if you look it up right now, it's called the theory of gravity. Or come on. Like, I'm not saying, like, this is what I was saying. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I'm stepping out of the emotional connection to what I'm saying is real, because whatever you believe, whatever you in your subconscious and deeply emotionally resonate with and believe, you will find facts. The world will present facts to you to back it. Now, that's scientific. If we want to talk about science, let's get away from classic science or classical physics and get into the physics that's been proven, like quantum physics and string theory, and the fact that the whole world is waves that you're interpreting neurologically. That's science. That's science. And as I said, to hide stuff from black people, put it in a book, is a falsehood. It's actually just a slander toward us to add on to the fact that they want to promote that you're stupid, but you're not. Go look up how many patents black people in America possess. We possess a lot, but all you know is the decadent veil. So you think about rappers and athletes. You don't know we have scientists and engineers and mathematicians. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's the reality of it. Science is divided because you have that science which is funded, usually by special groups which have interest, and you have those that have conducted actual experiments. Cold fusion is real. It can be achieved through magnetic energy. That's science. Would he dispute that? So then why do we use the lowest form of electricity? Because they could put a meter on it and charge you a lot of money. I'm sure that guy will mention Tesla as a scientist, but yet still everything he created, none of it is being used because it wasn't considered to be science. So what I would like to share and promote is, all I'm saying is I don't agree with any of this, right? Just step out of it for a moment. Stop looking outside of yourself. Ponder some things that may be true that you didn't even think about. like this. Maybe there's nothing you need to do, be, or have in order to be whole and complete. Right? Ponder that. Someone said the sun is cold fusion. That's not true. That's not cold fusion, right? Because the sun has a clock, it has a lifespan. Cold fusion is energy made from nothing. You know, the very energy that made up the entire universe.
Brother, hold on 1 second. Take this caller. Peace.
M.Reck, what's going on? How y'all doing?
I'm good. What's happening, good brother? We called you.
Oh, ain't much, man. You know, I see you at call, man.
Yeah.
But I just called to say, you know, I do think a lot of people look outside themselves. You know, I think all the answers that we need are already in us. You know what I mean? So it's like if I give you $1 million and you go, let's say you mess with a lot of women, you go buy you cars, and you're still not happy, because I think people are looking outside of themselves. All the answers you need to know is within you. Like right now, if you walk down the street and something tells you inside yourself, hey, don't walk down that street, and you don't listen, and something happens to you, the God is already within you. So you already knew not to go, but you looked outside of yourself and you went down that anyway, down that street. You know what I mean? So I think they distract us with a lot of things, like these rappers, you know, all these things. We glorifying and we looking like to other people when we should have already been looking within us. You know what I'm saying? So it's a distraction. So I think, you know, they're trying to distract us, and it's working. If we come together, then we'll win. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's just really what I was just trying to say, you know, just trying to say, stop looking outside of yourself. Everything you need to know is already within you. And I appreciate what y'all doing, man. I really do.
Not a problem. I love your
Appreciate
assessment.
y'all.
Appreciate you, good brother. What's your name?
My name is Gary, man. Cleveland.
Gary. Shouts to the whole Cleveland. Gary, great assessment, good brother.
Appreciate y'all now.
No doubt. And I want to say this. Shouts to Gary. This is something I've been saying, Talib been saying. Everything is within you. Everything. You just have to soul search. You know? But my brother Talib, do what you do.
I just want to reiterate. I said this a long time ago, many episodes ago. I just want to reiterate it, because this is the most. Every day I speak is from my personal life experience. I've seen things, I've experienced things, and I'm not really like you're not gonna find me on social media. You're not gonna find me out there. Like I'm still on my journey, and I'm just sharing the from my experience what I've come to the realization of through the practice. And this is the most profound thing that came to me. And remember, this is why I said we're gonna connect within. There's a gentleman who keeps saying that God is the savior, God is the salvation. I'm not saying that God isn't. And that's what I think that person should hear from me. I'm not disagreeing with you. And if you take a moment and really hear what I'm telling you, I'm just sharing a context of it that we have yet to ponder. That to bring us a lot of well-being.
Brother. Hold on. Peace. Peace. Well, they hung up or whatever.
That's okay, because it was meant for me to say this real quick. It did go to that.
Yeah,
You always are right. You need to understand this. You're always right. And you're going to say, someone's going to mention that that's not true. I've been wrong. I've made mistakes. And all I will say to you is this. Aren't you right about that? See, you have to be right to be wrong. you're always right. So the question really becomes not, am I right? What do I want to be right about? And you could go back to, I know you was about to call somebody back. That's what I wanted to share. You
Got you. I'm gonna call that person back. Hold on one second.
while it's ringing, someone mentioned that the Quran said all of it, and that's true. I'm not. That's what I'm not. I'm not here to tell you that anything you come to understand is wrong. All I'm saying is maybe there's a different way to view it. That's it.
I mean, see, this is the thing, King. You got to remember, and you know this. People are conditioned. So it's going to take them a lot of time to process this information because of the conditioning. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and they always looking for somebody to save them.
Or this could be the process they're undergoing to change their conditioning.
Facts. Hold on one second. Peace.
What's going on, M.Reck? What's going on, Talib? It's
Salute.
Chevy J. I love y'all. I love the energy. I love how you come on and just open the minds of the people and looking deep within myself personally. I think I've come to the realization, and as I've been waking up, my mind and the whole frequency and the paradigm that's shifting, amongst the people on the earth right now, is tapping into something that is within ourselves and not outside of ourselves. And I think that Christianity has done a great job at messing up our minds. It has really deterred us from what is truth. And if anybody know history, that's what the whole crusade was about, and missionaries and going to different regions of the earth, Christianizing the people and implementing these thoughts into their minds, and you're not thinking for yourself, understanding who you are. And I would tell everybody who reads the Bible, when you're reading the Bible, you got to decode what's going on. And those who are Jesus believers, even Jesus himself said, the kingdom of God is within me. He's within. He said, as the Pharisees and scribes they were wondering, asking when the kingdom is coming. He said the kingdom is not coming over there or over here, for the kingdom of God is within. So even Jesus, who everybody claimed and worshiped, said the kingdom of God is within you. So there isn't nothing that is going to come down and give you salvation. He also said that every man shall bear his own cross. So when you dig deep into the Bible and decode the metaphysical and decode what's really going on, then you would understand. But you have so many people registering to the thoughts of what man is saying opposed to what is saying on your heart. Because he also said in the Bible, the word is written on your heart. You don't need any man to tell you the truth about where you're from, who you are, if you look within. And I just wanted to tap in and say that to anybody that's listening, because we all have questions, even those who make fun of those who believe something different than what they were brought up or what they've been taught as a child. Understand that everything that was given to you was given to somebody that was given to them, and they were given it by their parents, and their parents gave it to them. So it's a carbon copy of a carbon copy of a carbon copy of a carbon copy. There is no original. So until you look deep within and begin to go on the journey and understand the awareness of who you are, that's when you're going to tap into who you are as a person.
Great assessment. This is something Talib always said. I always said, my brother, state your name again.
Chevy J.
Salute, my brother. Great assessment.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you tapping in.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace.
That was powerful, man. That was powerful. That's what I love to hear that, because that's what I'm saying. You know, when I'm all I'm really here to share is that you are so much more than you give yourself credit for. That the conditions of your life are not at the whim and control of others, even though it may appear that way. It's merely just an appearance. And how things take hold in our life is by the emotional awareness we give it. So if you are dealing with something in your life, like maybe you don't feel you have enough money, well, you're never going to have enough money with the feeling of not enough money. And if you only need money to now feel, then you're always under the control of that thing. You see what I'm saying? But when you begin to understand that, well, everything I have, everything I ever wanted that I got was it just put me into a particular feeling, right? I felt good having that thing. Then you can reverse engineer the occurrence. How? Well, by emotionally responding as if you have the thing you want. The subconscious doesn't know the difference. See, my thing is this. We can go ahead and study the Bible and study this and that, but that's not you. You are your mind. You are what's going on in your head. And if you don't know how to control the one place you're actually living, well, then you're going to have a lot of confusion in your life, and you'll be a co-creator to other people's reality. Right? And we can get there through meditation. And what is actual meditation? It is silence. And they've taught us to become uncomfortable with silence. But see, in silence, that's where you hear the word. That's in silence, that's where all the answers lie. In silence, that's where you know and you begin to feel safe. And when you feel safe, your heart is open. And when your heart is open, your health it is a scientific fact that an open heart can boost the immune system by 50%. We live in a survival state. So our heart is cut off. Our blood is pumping out endorphins and dopamine and serotonin and elements that are used to be alert and to be aware and to be able to react quickly and move swiftly. So now you're cut off from the creative or the God aspect of self. Or if you don't believe in that, you can say that's where you get cut off from God. But the moment you slow down and just live in the moment.
Hold on, go brother. Peace.
Peace. Peace.
Peace. Mute your audio, please. Mute your TV or your computer, please. Yeah, you live.
Peace.
You live. You live.
Hey, M.Reck. Guess what? Guess what?
What's
Guess
happening?
what?
Yeah.
Guess what?
I don't know. They kept saying, guess what? I didn't trust that. Talib, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. I didn't like that energy.
Yeah, you see what I understand is this is called cognitive dissonance. And that's what I heard the other gentleman when he was speaking, or I think it was Maybach, when he was talking about some of friends or relatives that he has, somewhat of a difficult time communicating certain ideas with. That's because you're bumping up against a part of their psychology that's tied to their ego. And ego protects your identity. And remember, everything you think you are is tied up in the things you believe you have, right? That's why a lot of people here, they're very confident in what they're saying, but if today they lost their job and they wasn't able to pay their rent and they lost their woman, they would say their world is over. Some of you, if you lose your phone, might say that.
Facts.
Because we've become so accustomed to being in this dream that you really think it's real. But it's not. And when you can slow down and be in the moment that you are, you'll see. And for someone who said it's not true, that this is they feel like all this is bogus, I challenge you to do this. I challenge you to write down on a piece of paper. But this is for people that don't believe me. You know, here's your chance to prove it. Let's see if you'll do the effort, if you'll actually put the work in to prove it. See, it's easy for you to disagree with me because it doesn't require proof. You know, when you disagree with someone, the burden of proof is not on me, it's on you. But just try it. Try this. Write down on a piece of paper, I will not climb a ladder. Write it down several times. Put it on your mirror in the bathroom. And say it several times throughout the day. Read it. I will not climb a ladder. I will not climb a ladder. And when you lay down and go to sleep, you visualize in your mind's eye and use all your senses, you bring it in there, of putting your hands on that ladder and climbing the ladder. And then, because we do this show all the time, you do that for a week. And if you don't end up climbing the ladder, then you could just call back and be like, I didn't climb. And I guarantee you, when you climb the ladder, you won't be able to call back and lie. You won't be able to call back and be deceitful, because that's not your intention anyway. You're just like all of us. You're looking for your own happiness, like everyone is. And that can be thrown into a array where you might lash out at others or you might ridicule others. But at the end of the day, the truth is you just want to be happy. There's something in your life that you believe outside of you is the reason you can achieve that happiness. And then what you do is you lash out so you can avoid the unhappiness. But here's the reality. You do this. You climb that ladder and fall asleep in it. If you don't climb the ladder, you call back, you prove us all wrong. But if you climb the ladder, then that means what's going on in your mind is creating reality, which means everything I'm saying is true. Which means that means you can rewrite the matrix any way you choose. This is a choice. And they just convinced you that you have no choices from the stories they made you believe. You don't know everyone in the world. You can't even know in your conscious state all that there is to know in the world. Did you know that just maybe 700 years ago, that one man could know everything there was to know? Strange. But today, consciousness expanded to the point where a conscious person cannot do that. We must co-create. We must do it together. So try it. Other than that, when you're just responding or being upset, it only proves that you've been triggered and that you're practicing cognitive dissonance. That's what you're proving, because you're offering advice to people and you're diagnosing people you don't know, and you're speaking on a generalization that is in terms of a collective. But the reality is, anyone you argue with about anything will be able to give you an anecdotal situation that disproves what you're saying. Because everyone is pushing the hologram out from their perspective.
Hold on, good brother.
Yeah.
Peace.
Hello, peace. I'm gonna be really fast because I know the other brother was talking. I just wanted to say thank you for saying what you're saying because he's absolutely correct.
You're
I had
welcome.
my first daughter when I. Hello.
I said you're welcome. Go ahead. Continue on.
Oh, okay. I apologize, sir. I had my first daughter when I was 21. So right after college, all I was doing was running and running and running, just basically in survival mode. And I met my husband 6 years ago. We got married, and I was able to sit home for a minute while he worked because I had his son. And this was the first time coming into adulthood when I was actually able to sit and just look around me. I didn't have nothing to do but, just the wifely duties, cooking and cleaning, which is a lot. But you get a lot of downtime, a lot of quiet time as well. And when I tell you, it's like this world smacked me in the face, like the real world, not the delusion, the fake world that they gave us to live in. The real world smacked because I started asking myself so many questions that I never had time to sit down and ask myself before, even with religion and church and just everything. Just to find out that majority of the stuff that we have been taught, our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents, it's all lies. It's all lies. And what he's basically saying is when you do get to sit down and you're in silence and your brain is going, you start to ask yourself questions that you never even thought to ask yourself. When you start looking for answers and you find it, it's a smack in the face. So I just wanted to say thank you because that's something I went through last year. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think I was gonna come out of it because it was like looking into a whole new world. Like we are in a matrix, and it is what it is. And the people that's so stuck in religion and rooted in all of these things, y'all ever heard of just divide and conquer? That's literally what's happening right now. When we in all these different categories, we can never come together and fight. We're always going to be divided. Oh, my Jesus said this, or my Allah. Like, forget all of that. They literally put it there just for us to fight against one another. And we're not even the real enemy. Like, nobody never looked up. I know I'm rambling now. Nobody never looked up to be like, oh, damn, we the puppets, but who pulling the strings for real? You know what I mean? So I just wanted to call in and say thank you so much. You guys have a great day.
You're welcome. You have a great day too. Good
Wow,
assessment.
that was beautiful. Thank you. That was powerful. And I want to bring light to what she was saying because here's the thing: it's very powerful. You want to change when you close your eyes, you cut off 80% of the outside world in that moment. Okay, the moment you close your eyes. All right, you aren't thinking thoughts. Thoughts are being presented to you because they're frequency. Everything is already in creation. It's called supersymmetry. Everything already exists. Well, why don't we experience it? Well, you only experience that which you bring your awareness to. And it doesn't mean your awareness is not your eyes. Your awareness is not your eyes. Your awareness is your consciousness. And your consciousness is that what you give attention to. That observer in you that hears a thought and goes, yeah, it is true. You're right about that. Yeah, they are an a-hole. I do hate my boss. You're right. Yo, he is stupid. And then what happens? A gang of thoughts follow. And then you're like, well, I can't turn it off. Because you're not creating the thoughts. You're just tuning into them. And we tune into things with our emotion and our awareness. So if you give your attention, and I want to bring it down to something that people can experience in their own life. Here's something you can do. Everyone is experiencing. I feel as if this is a very general example that a lot of people could use. I don't want to say everyone because that's not true. A general example would be knowing you have to deal with someone that's difficult.
Hold on, good brother. Peace.
Yo, peace. M.Reck?
Yes, sir.
Come on, brother. My name is Michael.
Michael, do me a favor, mute your audio, please.
All right, no doubt.
Mike, you there?
Yeah, I mean, I muted the
Yeah, I'm
I
talking
don't have
about.
no audio playing.
Yeah, I heard an echo either from your
Yeah.
TV or your laptop. You
Oh, no. I'm from my microphone. I'm calling from my microphone. Is it clearer now, sir?
all right? Cool. Go ahead, good brother.
Bro?
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, I love you. I love what y'all doing, man, because y'all enlighten us. You know what I'm saying? I'm always trying to figure out what is the reason why we can't get together. And I'm coming up with is our language. Is this English language thing? It's like a spell, you know what I'm saying? So certain words mean certain words in different ways. Like the word "new" in the Bible was to have sex with a woman, and the word "know" is like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, I know a person, right? I believe that, you know, in our time there was people who didn't need to use words and stuff like that. They could tell, like, when the birds is flying, where the birds was going, they know is another land because the birds was going that way. If the fish was in the water swimming, they knew that they could survive through water, the fish. So nature, I believe that nature was supposed to teach us everything. But now I think they're describing with spelling, just teaching us how to spell, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to see if y'all could touch on that a little bit, you know what I'm saying, as far as the language, because I was just telling my brother the other day, I was like, yo, if I came to you right now and I told you water was awa, and I just said awa, right? The more I say awa to you, even though that ain't the English language, every time I say awa, you're gonna say, oh shoot, he mean water, right? So language is what you make it. You make the language. I can make a sound and and we know it hurt, you know what I'm saying? It's four universal things that man needs. He needs water, food, shelter, and to defecate, you know what I'm saying, urinate, right? So those are four things that we need for survival. Why us as a people don't just focus on those four things? But they put out the Gucci, they put out the Louis, they put out the rappers, like the brother said. They so all this stuff that's going to promote to us. NFL is the biggest thing that promotes to us, right? They put the Nike on one team and Adidas on one team so you can see. So everybody's promoting through this big thing because they know the audience. So they spelling us. But I like to challenge people to try to use a different language, create languages, and see what happens. You know what I mean? Like this, you talk to one of your friends and, you know, call something a word, a different word, and make that language. And I bet you that we all could comprehend that just by us knowing that we're saying those words meaning something different. So now that they own the English language, they're listening to everything we're saying. They just deciphering the code. So if we breaking down a plan right now to be empowered, they know the code because they're listening to us. They got AI, they got the intelligence. They every time we say something, they like, okay, they trying to get smarter now. All right, this is how they think they're gonna get smarter. Let's cap them at this because we telling our thoughts because we use their language to do it. And again, like I said, I think that nature could have taught us everything. Birds, like trees grow. Man, our body got water. That's why we have more water. Some people look like certain kind of animals. You know what I'm saying? The fruit, the seed is inside the woman. You know what I'm saying? So we know that it's not the houses, it's not the buildings, it's not the cars, it's not the juries, not none of that. It's the actual nature, and they blocking the nature with the buildings. They blocking the nature with the luxuries of life, with the cars, and so they blocking nature. We can't see it. We from the hood. Most of us from the hood that I know. And there's no beaches next to us. There's no way to get some water. So it's the resources is just blinded. We're blinded by the resources. And again, I believe the Egyptians were smart enough to notice, and that's why they could to make the sundial and stuff like that. Now, you know, they tell us that the world is round, but when you look at your arm, you look at that clock that's on your arm. It's like a hypnotism thing, right? So you think that every day you're gonna get up, you're gonna do the same thing. Get up, do the same thing. Get up, do the same thing. But if everything is round, then why do things go straight? Because after something goes round, it has to make a point to go on, to make a point to go on, to make a point to go on. So we need those dials to turn, right, in order to come up with one situation. And I hope I'm not going too far out with it. What I'm saying is like this, like, you know, if it's one day and it's 24 hours in a day, why does that day become the first? And then after dial go again comes the second? That's going further. That's not going over and over again. So they're teaching us to think over and over again as opposed to going straight. And once again, like, I want to ramble, but you and Talib is doing a great job. I just want to hear him like just talk about the language aspect of how do we create a language as opposed to this English thing, because they're going to decipher everything we try to do and we use this language. And thank you for letting me share.
Not a problem, brother. Great assessment.
Thank you, brother.
All right, welcome.
I thought that was a lot of information, and it was powerful and very, very intriguing. I like to add to that that time is a construct of the mind. Time doesn't exist. Trees, all of these things you're observing, that you're interacting with, is an interpretations. You're not actually speaking a language. You're actually blowing air out and making sounds. That's what you're doing. And you are interpreting it and giving it meaning. That's why you can be around somebody, right? And that's why the best way to learn a language, and most people do use that method, is by being around the language and listening to the language. The same way a child learns to speak. A child learns to speak from listening to people speak around him all the time. Then he begins to put it together and creates interpretations of what these sounds are. And then these sounds, we label them, and then you call them words. See, this is still a process outside of yourself. Inside of you, there is no, if you would just take a moment and check to see when your past ended and now began, I'm sure you'll discover there are no lines in your head. Time isn't even existing like that in your mind. For you are living the same day. If you have an issue where you have maybe anger issues or some sort of personality issue in yourself where you that comes from some sort of trauma. If you have money issues or things of with relationships, this comes from some sort of thing that happened in your past that you believe was true, and your ego has created a way of life for you to keep you from experiencing it again. We have to stop looking outside of ourselves. Remember, we're always looking at the past, and remember, the past is imaginary at this. It's not imaginary, just imaginary at this point. It's just data at this point. Your future is imaginary, but the past is just information that you can use in your now any way you see fit. But for some reason, you believe that if I rewrite my past, then I'm lying to myself. But then how you'll never be greater than the past you believe. If you believe you grew up poor, you will never be rich, because it's in your subconscious that, hey, we grew up poor. We've always been poor. That's our now. You only have right now. That's it. Your whole life is now. It's psychology. It really boils down to psychology and understanding how the mind works and where is this world coming from? Well, it's coming and being produced by the subconscious. And for the people out there that's into science or feel that the science way, please go look into that. I think you'll have a wonderful time going and looking at all of the recent discoveries of neuroscience. Because this is not what you think it is. They need you to think it's that so that it continues to happen that way. You begin to realize that it's not. Then you begin to realize that, oh, I can change my past. I can rewrite my past, my childhood, to be something that actually has served me, opposed to something that keeps me in this state. You have about 80,000 thoughts a day. And out of those 80,000 thoughts, you carry 90% of those thoughts over to the next day. So if you are constantly thinking the same things, how are you going to change? If you're focused on the things that you don't like and they're the way they are, and that's just the way it is, then how can it ever change? Right? We have the power to change by changing our thoughts and changing our language. So for the gentleman that was speaking on language, I would challenge you to try this for 7 days. Only use language that serves you. Word everything in a way that serves you. If you don't have money, don't say I'm broke. someone asks you, oh, you don't have the money to go somewhere, say, oh, it's not the time I like to go there anyway right now, and my money is currently circulating. See, when you put circulation in your mind's eye, okay, that says that the money's coming back around to you. When you say, I spent all my money, when you say I'm broke, these are terms that imply that no money is coming back. So every day and say this to yourself: I will receive unexpected money from from an unexpected source at an unexpected time within 8 hours. And watch what happens. And the reason it'll work is because if you tell yourself, I'm going to get money today, your logical mind is going to jump in and go from where? Because see, life is identity, and identity is dualism, duality. So your mind will immediately go, where will it come from? I ain't getting paid today. Matter of fact, I got bills that's due. I got this that's due, and everything in this, and ain't no money coming from here, and I just got money here, and I just did this and that and third. But watch what happens if you say unexpected. Then the mind goes, what? Oh, it can't combat that. So what does it start doing? It starts looking for unexpected money. And you'll find it. It will come to you. You don't have to find it. It'll literally come to you. And try it. And if it works, then I ask you to attempt to take it a step further. Use it in another aspect of your life. Whenever you use your imaginative act for win-win situations, they will always come true. Period. Matter of fact, everything in your life has came true. Your life is exactly what you said it is right now. Right now, your life is exactly what it's not contrary to what you say it is. The moment you start changing that story and making that a different story, everything will start changing with the story, because the whole world is a story. Everything everyone has said about what has happened is a story. It's based in the past, a bit that you weren't there for, something you can't go back to. There's not one aspect of your past that you're going to be able to actually revisit other than that which is in your head, because there was only now. And remember, what I'm speaking on is an internal philosophy, not something to run outside and be like, well, I could kick this guy in his butt because nothing's real. That's not the point. The point is that when you internalize these things, you will see that it starts to create a peace, a harmony inside of you. That peace and harmony and gratitude and love and appreciation starts projecting itself out into your world. And it starts reflecting itself to you. And that's what I wanted to share.
Got you, brother. Oh yeah, let's get to the reparations in California.
Well, I'd be curious to know what well, here's the thing. They found that, because remember during during the whole thing with the protesting and everything, I'm not even going to go there. We all know what that really was. There were people out protesting, but we know how they actually ended up there. But they had the whole HR, I think it was HR 40, and they actually did it, where they conducted a study to see, well, how much would was Black people owed money, and how much would they be owed if they was owed money. So they recently came out and said that Black people was owed about $5 billion in the state of California, which roughly added up to about $255,000 per person. So I don't really know, I have to look into further how they were actually planning, because right now I don't think they have plans on how they're going to distribute that. But they've already started a part of that program with the, here it comes, universal income for Black women who are pregnant. They're giving them $1,000 a month, right? So I guess my real thing is, will it become, someone mentioned that one of their parents was born in California. And I was just about to speak on that, because how they're going to do it is it probably have to be through Social Security numbers, but the real question in my mind becomes, is this going to become another reason or another excuse to pump money and funnel money in another direction? Because that's what happened to Black people during civil rights. We didn't get those programs. We didn't get that money. Okay? And that's where that second surge of migration of immigrants came in, from Africa, from India, China. So so I like to know what people think about that themselves. Like, and if the state of California does it, is this gonna cause other states to actually do it? Because Virginia gave out some form of what they call reparations, so did Georgia, but it had nothing to do with actually giving Black people money. It had to do with making it easier for them to get a home. Money is always, somebody said money becomes worthless when resources are unavailable, so they would just limit the resources. Money becomes worthless when people say it's worthless, because money is just a construct that we agree upon. At one point, we were trading stones, rocks. Then everybody just had coins, and then came paper. And then before the paper was gold behind it. Money has always just been a representation of exchange for the creativity of another. And previous to that, someone mentioned there was a barter system. And remember that English, the language we speak, is a trade language. I suggest anybody go look that up. This was a language that was designed to be spoken by many people so that they could do business with each other.
Hold on 1 second. Peace.
Peace. M.Reck, I didn't mean to stop Talib from building, but I wanted to add to that reparation. I believe it's California. He's right with the numbers and everything, but the country we live in, there's always stipulations. Now, us melanated people and other people cannot even get identification. So the stipulation was to take what you call that thing, the DNA testing thing, to take that, and if it shows and proves that you have a certain amount of percentage from your ancestors, then you collect the money. You know what I'm saying? They're going to always add a stipulation. So it wasn't like, oh yeah, this is the number. This is what we added. Like Talib said, 250 something thousand each person's supposed to get, whatever, or each household's supposed to get. But there's a stipulation. Like, so my thing is, if we barely can get IDs, right, to vote, to cash our checks and stuff like that, like, how are we going to do this? That's what it was. Doing the ancestry DNA testing to show proof, and you have to have a certain amount of percentage. I'm not sure if it was California, but I know it was a certain state, and the politician came up with the numbers and everything like that. I would have to go back and do my research to see if it's definitely California. But there is a state that did come up with the numbers and everything like that. But the stipulation was that you have to take a DNA testing, and you have to have a certain percentage or show proof that your bloodline lines up with that bloodline in order to get the money, which is crazy. But that's what I wanted to add to his building. So I'm gonna drop back down. I just wanted to put that out there. But keep building, brother, and keep cooking, Talib. You're cooking real good, brother. Keep cooking.
brother. I appreciate that. That- Yeah, it is California. I just was like, I'm so glad he called in because I just didn't know what was the stipulations. Like, I thought they would go through social security numbers to make sure you was people because I mean, so anybody can come in from any state, just prove that they black, and then they get the money. You know what I'm saying? How does that work? Because do you have to be a resident of California? Like that just seems so generalized. Like because each state has its own laws. You know what I mean? That's why what California is doing is not everybody else ain't doing it. Only they doing it. So like, are they? I just don't understand like how that's supposed to work. What are the? I'm gonna go look. Like I said, I want to look up the criteria exactly. I did read an article about it, but I don't recall if I ever saw. That was one of the things that struck me about the article that I didn't see anything about what one would have to do in order to get it. So that is happening, but I'm not 100% sure. Like it just seems really, really odd and strange. But at the same time, California is leading the way and getting rid of like I don't know how many people know this, but like it's even coming down toward I would say Las Vegas because now I saw something that out here that I've never seen that I've only seen in like you know some sort of video. But I saw someone out here just walk into the grocery store, fill up their grocery cart, and just walk out. Walk right past the little, you know, automated machines to the front door, and the staff is just looking at them. So, no, for real, just looking. And this is like, and I'm looking around. I'm like, I'm an observer, so I love to observe what's happening and observe what's happening in others as it's happening, right? And the interesting thing was like nobody seemed except maybe one other person who seemed to be like looking like what the heck just happened. I speak to the lady and she was like, yeah, if I try to stop them, they'll fire me. They can walk up out of the store with up to $900 worth of products. You had to go in Walmart. Like people was grabbing computers and you know what I'm saying? You know them TVs in the back of the Walmart. People grabbing them and just walking and that, like so I don't know how that's going over there on the East Coast, but I know like over here, like it really like San Francisco, it's like out of control. It's like lawless. Oakland, California is lawless. Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Hold on a second, good brother. Shouts to Joelle _512 on the super chat. She says, keep cooking them. Gems fire. Heavy Gems fire. Facts. This is the Heavy Gem Show. Shouts to anybody who just now tuning in. If this your first time, like, subscribe, hit the bell for future notifications. This is the M.Reck and Talib Heavy Gem Show. My brother, keep building.
Yeah, so like I just found that very interesting. But to shift back, um, the example that I was going to give is what was it? It was this is a good because it was a really good example of when the way we're projecting our reality out, you know. And it eluded me now for now, but I'm sure it'll come back around. Oh, okay. I got it. So here's a way to test these things I'm proclaiming to you. Here's a way to test that. You have someone that you have a difficult time with, be it a coworker, someone you work with, or maybe a friend or a person, a significant other you're in a relationship with, and you have a difficult time communicating with them. I'm willing to bet that before you get into those arguments, or the moment you knew you have to deal with them, what happens is you have a mental argument with them. You already see the situation going wrong. And then when you walk into that situation, lo and behold, they act according to that dispute you had in your mind. So I propose this, right? And this is a technique and it works. It's a revision technique. When you know you have to deal with someone difficult, in your mind, imagine them getting along with you, saying exactly what keeps the conversation and flow and harmony. Imagine hearing them saying, yeah, you're right, and you have wonderful ideals, and that's great. We want whatever it is. Imagine that. And when we imagine, here's the thing. Don't think of it. Think from it. And what I mean is, when you think of it, you just picturing yourself standing there. You could see your whole self standing there having this situation. When you think from something, well, you put yourself in the situation, meaning in your mind's eye, you're looking through your own eyes. You can see your hands. You see this person standing in front of you. And you hear them saying the things you want to hear. And emotionally resonate with that. Allow that imaginative act to actually make you feel like it's done. And then when you go deal with them, watch what happens. Now, for those who actually try it, we'd love for you to come back and to share your experience. In my experience, I've had profound effect with these things. Do people some would consider to be racist being people that actually worked for my better good? Because the imaginative act I created, everybody won. I've done this, and there's been times where they have said exactly what I heard them say. And it happened very naturally. So I propose that you give that a try. There is no such thing as a bad day. A bad day is a choice. Every day on earth is an opportunity to be grateful. And there is something in every day
Facts.
that's there to bring you joy, there to bring you enlightenment, and there to promote your growth and well-being. Every day holds that. But you're always right. So what do you want to be right about? That's what I wanted to share. I remembered. My mind is a still trap. Say those things to yourself. If you feel you have a poor memory, every time you do remember something, regardless if it took you a minute or someone else said something that caused you to remember, say, my mind is a still trap. Every day in every way, I am better, better, and better. Perfect sight, perfect vision, perfect hearing, clear mind. Your whole life can change instantly. And it's a scientific term for those who are into the science. It's called neuroplasticity. Look it up. It could take you 6 months to learn something, or you can learn it overnight. It depends on your willingness and how you choose to observe it. Nothing in this world is hard unless you say it's hard. Because what is hard? Hard is things we have to do that we don't want to do, that we feel obligated to do it. What is lazy? Is lazy actually lazy? No. What it actually is, it's about changing our words, our language, our understanding, redefining. Lazy is a person who knows not to do something when their actions aren't aligned with their feelings. If your emotions and your actions aren't lined up, you won't get good results. See, that's what's called being in flow state. That's when your mind and your actions are one. We all have the ability to enter into flow state. Right? And my overall goal, we might talk about one thing, but I want to always come back to you. Right? If you want to save the world, save yourself. Right? Deep breathing helps. I will share with you a Qigong secret about breathing. When you are breathing, especially in Qigong, they teach to breathe. You put your finger, your index finger on your navel, your belly button, and you go 2 more fingers down. And that third finger, that's where they say the Dantian is located. Now, Qigong teaches to, when you take a breath in, to breathe into the Dantian, expanding the Dantian. I'm going to teach you the real secret, the secret that they don't be telling everybody. It's not breathing out. When you breathe in, you're not supposed to breathe 3 fingers down. From your belly button, you're going to breathe 3 inches in from your belly button. And when you take a breath in, you imagine in your mind's eye as you breathe the white light of consciousness from the universe flowing through every cell in your body, flowing into you as you breathe in, into your Dantian, 3 inches inward. And as you breathe out, you imagine black stagnant energy shooting out to the ends of the energy. And you'll feel your skin tingle. And you breathe in again and you do that. And you can start with, because you'll start, it'll be very deep when you breathe like this in Qigong. And your posture is, your feet are shoulder width apart. Your knees are slightly bent to where when you look down, you should just see the head of your toes. Your hips are going to be tucked in to where the little small dip of your spine is now tucked and makes the lower end of your spine straight with the rest of your spine. You will take your chest and you will round and hollow your chest so that your chest slowly and lightly cave inward, causing your shoulders to sort of fold, rounding your back. You take your chin and you tuck it in like your head is floating on a string, like a balloon. And you take your tongue and you put it at the roof of your mouth. This makes the connection so the energy is circular. You start with 7 breaths. If you want to get really powerful about it and have astronomical effects, if you have anywhere where there's grass, you get up at about 5:30 in the morning, you go out there when the sun begins to rise, you take your shoes off, you put your feet on earth, and you start these breathing practices, breathing in the light of the universe, releasing out all of the stagnant toxic energy inside of your body as you gaze in toward the sun. Because when the sun is first rising, the rays are weaker and you can actually absorb the rays of the light of the sun. That's science too. Right? And the reason someone said around nighttime, around 3 or 4 in the morning, that's a very interesting time because, see, really that's vibrationally, that's when your mind is in an alpha state. The alpha state is when you have the ability to communicate and impress your subconscious. That's why a lot of people who wake up in the middle of the night have very big revelations, 3, 4 in the morning.
Facts. I'm
So,
always up that time.
That's when you're getting a download because you're more receptive to it. Because you're a mental being. As much as they try to make you believe you're this physical thing, and they put all this stuff outside of you to make you believe and buy into the story you're physical, you are not a physical being. You're having a physical experience, but as an observer, as awareness, as consciousness. Whatever your name is, that wasn't your name. You came into this world conscious. That's all you know. And you were told what your name was. And you've just conformed to that. But you didn't come here with a name, as no one did. You came here as a free, sovereign being to do the work of God. Well, what is the work of God? To create. So what do? You imagine and you have desire. But it's only that which is apparently happening. There is only that which is apparently happening. For your life is only a series of right now. And if you allow yourself to just ponder that and just be with it, it'll open up a lot of amazing doors in your life. Because whatever prison you're in right now, you constructed it. You locked the cell. You put the key around your neck. You ran into the wall and knocked yourself out. You woke up. And now you don't know how you got there. But the key is around your neck.
You want to take this caller? Your
Sure.
brother?
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace. Peace.
Peace.
Hello?
Yes. You live.
Peace.
You live, good
Yo.
brother.
Yo, salute,
Salute.
man.
Salute, good brother.
Same with Talib. I'm not sure if he can respond back. This is Stephen from Cleveland. I just wanted to add on to, it was something that a brother had mentioned earlier and asked Talib a question about the catch-22 with them some so-called reparations. From what I had heard was they were checking for bloodlines. I heard one group of people say something about they're looking for a female, or just general bloodlines within, the African community. I wanted to know, did he or anybody that may have heard something similar to that? That's all I was calling to ask and to share what I've heard over the years. So if they're asking you to take it, and plus it's funny that we mentioned this because I just watched the clip of when Lord Jamar was on your podcast, and when he was talking about the acting gigs and how he took the test and them sticking the thing up the nose, that's what they're really trying to checking for some kind of bloodline. So I'm gonna end it on that, and I'm gonna go back to listen and see if he can respond. All right. Peace.
All right. Peace.
All right. Peace.
Well, without getting too conspiratorial, I just tell you to look up Operation Mannequin, and that'll answer a lot of those questions. Bloodlines is something that they've been looking at and after for a long time, and there's been a couple of theories of what was going on with those tests because first of all, just in case you didn't know, there's a reason that all of a sudden the news was like, should everyone who gave us information about that have immunity? Immunity? Wait. So, do you understand what that implies? It's called reading in between the lines. If you saying he should have immunity, then you're saying that a crime has been committed.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're saying a crime was committed, what was the crime? Right? So some of that gets sort of like, yeah, they're doing some things, and yeah, there's a couple of things that are about to come around. As Maybach was mentioning earlier, you could feel the calm before the storm. Go look up Project Pogo. Project Pogo is something that Israel had going. Did you know that they wanted to create a database of everybody that was into conspiracy theories? Did you know that some of the people pumping conspiracy theories into you, they're not they're not real people. Like they're
Hold
being
on one.
fake.
Hold on 1 second, good brother. Peace.
Oh, peace. Oh, it's the big deacon. Weasel M.Reck. Yes, sir. And I wanted to chime on in. The deacon got time today to chime on in. Oh, with the end of the world. I like this. The deacon love this. Yes, sir. Oh, yes.
What's happening,
And
Deacon Weezo? Talk to me.
oh, man. Oh, M.Reck, you let me know when old deacon can get to cooking with that sermon and tell you what the good book say. Yes, sir.
I guess. Speak your
Man.
piece.
Oh man, the Bible says, M.Reck, and all the M.Reck listeners, that this world we're living in those last days. See, that's why I miss grandma and great grandma, because back in our days, growing up in the 70s and the 80s, they would tell you stuff like this. If you don't believe what they saying, look around. They want you to be distracted with the Megan Thee Stallion, the court case. They want you to look buy the new iPhone. I even seen a vending machine with Jordans, fake Jordans that they selling in them. So the Bible says that you're gonna be distracted. The Bible also said that the woman gonna act like a man. How many she or he man looking women that we see around the community each and every day? They got shape ups like Rick Ross. They got a body shape like Umar Johnson. So we living in times to where you don't even know a person's gender. You're gonna be distracted. You're gonna be on all these good drugs and good pills and all these things, and that's the stuff that they don't want you to know. So the good deacon, you can't even go to a church no more. See, we don't have any institutions for the free thinking heterosexual black males in 2022 going on 2023. So we gotta go to church off our YouTube. We got to listen to the good book and the good word off YouTube, because the church filled with stuff. I went to the church on Mother's Day, and they were giving
Hold on, Deacon.
Mother's Day gifts.
Hold
so
on.
We gotta stay focused and
Hold on,
do what
Deacon.
we do.
Yeah, this the Heavy Jim show. So you know, we building a little different. We building a little different on this show. Yeah. Nah, but it's all good though. It's all good though. But appreciate you calling up. You know what I mean?
Man, yes, sir, brother. And I will hit you up later on, brother.
All right, good brother. Salute. That's my guy. Pardon
That's
me.
my guy too. No. I love Deacon, and I'm glad he called in. And see, here's the thing: when you can just let go of the conditions you have on people, then you can appreciate the moment for what it is.
Correct.
He had a message, and he had a point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I can respect the point that he made. At the same time, I'd like to share with him the reason all these things are happening, because these are all the things that are happening in you. The world, as you consciously understood it, is expanding. The turmoil you see in the world is in you. So people having that time, even though if you observed it from one perspective, they took a lot of things from everyone, right? But if you observe it from another perspective, they made probably the biggest mistake they could have ever made. They gave you a chance for silence. Even though in your home, they even took movies out of the theater and gave them straight to you. But a lot of people did what? They started noticing, because they were taken out of their routine. Some of the people who may feel differently about this, they don't realize it, but they're lost in a routine in life that they haven't yet seen, a wheel that they're running on, they don't know they're running on. They think they're actually going somewhere. But if you ever sit still for a moment and feel the stillness and the expansion of self, you realize there's nothing going anywhere. Everything is already where it is and already what it is. So what happened? A lot of people left the workforce. A lot of black people started their own businesses. That's what happened. A lot of people, whether you might have seen it as they falling apart, maybe that's what they needed to do. When you truly understand the power of God, then you know no harm of this world can really, truly beset you when you know the truth. Mental health issues are real. I have a relative that's mentally ill that I deal with frequently. And we can all learn from him because nothing bothers that man. He moves beyond everything and sees the brighter side of everything. But you would call him intellectually deficient. When you understand you created everything here from yourself, everyone is from yourself. I am from you as you are from me. Then you begin to learn that really there's nothing I can't know and nothing I can't learn or experience if I choose to. So this is a good thing that people have stepped away from a lot of these churches. The Bible tells you won't find God in a church. A lot of people who who wasn't able to go to church at that time, you know what? For the first time in their life they did? They read the Bible on their own. They didn't rely on a person to point out certain chapters and certain phrases and certain areas to make the point that they wanted to make to you. To why at the end of the day, you need to give some of your money to the church. And everyone who did that found their own meaning in it. Everyone who did that found that what they were being told was different from what their self was telling them. We can flip the world completely on its head with just the way we view the world. But Deacon, as long as you looking for it to be some action outside of yourself that you believe you have to take in order to make something different that you're experiencing in your world, then that's when you're just going to keep running up against the same. You see, Maybach Mel made a comment about mental health and anxiety, depression. See, I would tell you this: some people who are feeling anxiety, and this might lead into the Sedona method, but I will share this with you. The reason you're feeling these, first of all, for everyone out there, fear is an acronym. It's not a word. It's associated as a word that we've defined, but it is actually an acronym. False evidence appearing real. And the reason we experience a lot of these anxieties is because we won't allow ourselves to experience it. We have convinced ourselves or been taught that these negative emotions, to experience them, is wrong, or it makes you lesser somehow. But it's all a part of creation here for your experience. And if you let that anxiety in, that's how you actually can let it go. Everybody in the world is after the same thing. Everybody wants to be happy. And when you realize that, then you realize there are no differences between people. They are just stories. And even a person that goes out and is abusive to others is a person who is so desperate to be loved and so afraid that they can't receive it that they completely push everyone away from them. The people that do hurtful things are people that just don't believe it's something they can have. But that's just a version of them. And every one of us has infinite versions of ourselves, infinite versions of everyone. You don't have to change a person. You just have to shift the version you're dealing with. That's all. And the only way you do that is through yourself. You have to shift how you see them. So to Deacon Weeze, I would say, do not get so involved with what you aren't actually experiencing, because you're only experiencing now. And unless you were standing in a church in that moment, witnessing these people you were speaking of doing the things and keeping you from it, and others out there with you protesting, then none of that is true in your moment. That is just something you're bringing your awareness to, because you're defining the world. And by defining it, it means agreeing. You are completely unaware of all the information around you that you don't even emotionally resonate with, because you don't emotionally resonate with it. A homeless man sees you on the street and says you're a bum and a piece of crap. How do you react? You're a bum, man. You're not even worth listening to. Get your life together. But let somebody you admire or somebody you respect tell you you're a bum. You're a piece of crap. Then you start questioning yourself.
Facts. Hold on 1 second, good brother. Shouts to Pink Pounder on the super chat. Appreciate y'all, good folks. M.Reck and Talib. Appreciate you. All right. I'm gonna bring some on the screen real quick. I don't know if this happened last night, but I'm gonna bring it on the screen. You might be aware of this. I just seen this on my homie's IG, my homie's Instagram page. My religion is rap. Shouts to my guy O. Check this out. And the caption reads, "The White House lights up the LGBTQ logo." And this is under the Joe Biden administration. Y'all see what's going on?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, you see the agenda? Mm-hmm.
The deconstruction of America began about 35, almost 40 years ago. Right? And what that is that's signaling. That's virtue signaling. Clearly. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the group now that represents civil rights. Right? Because to say that America owes civil rights to gays and is not true. Civil rights was created for black people. I mean, that's just the facts. And anyone who disputes it is disputing it from an emotional standpoint. Because if you go look it up, then you'll know that. It's written. No one mentioned this is the new civil rights. It is. See, it went under the guise of us, and you see what I'm saying? Just the same way that the women's movement, the feminist movement, you know, was started by Caucasian women, and they used black women in that movement. That's another fact that you have. All you have to do is look up. Like, to see, I wasn't there. These are just information and things that I was curious about and that I came across that I researched. So I don't. I'm just presenting this to you to make my point. It is up to you now to go out and see if that is true or not. Please don't take my word on it, because when you do your own research, it's from your perspective. Okay? But this is how they've used us in this country. And whenever we get to a point where we're about to make a significant change with our consciousness, which merely means we're fed up of the situation we're in. See, this is the truth. You're in control of it. Whenever you get fed up with a situation, what happens? Your life change. The question is, what's your dirt tolerance level? How far to the ground do you have to go before you say, I'm ready to get up now? You see what I'm saying? This is why a decadent veil was created. It was to coil you, to make you relax and make you feel like everything was fair, and to pit you against each other. Because if all these million black people are millionaires, then what you complaining about? How could there be what they're calling racism? You know, and notice now racism is lost its meaning. Racism was about a system that oppressed a particular group. Now racism is used when anybody is just being prejudiced or bigoted to one another. That's not racist. You see what I'm saying? It's been redefined. Right? So now in the black community, you got this big debate, right? You got the ADOS, right? You got Pan-Africans. You got Hebrew Israels. And you got indigenous aboriginals. They all black, and none of them is acknowledged for what they call themselves by the system that they live in. You don't see a problem with that? So once again, it's to give the illusion so that they can shuffle around the money again, switch as you elevate consciousness and begin to realize, oh, I have more control than I've ever realized I've had. Then they shift the direction of your consciousness. That's going to bottleneck it and put you right back on that path, on that same hamster wheel, till you get tired of running on it and realize you on it. Then they'll shift and make you think you're getting off of it as you just step onto another hamster wheel. First of all, black people can't get nothing from the government because you don't know who you are. Every one of them will say the other guy don't know. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
You tell me what African country came out and said, we want our black people back from America. We got a program to integrate you back into society.
Hold on 1 second, good brother. We're gonna take this last call and then we're gonna wrap it up. All right. So caller, state your name and where you calling from, and let's get to it.
What's going on? What's going on? My name is Darnell. I'm calling out of North Carolina, and I just have a quick question for Talib. Basically, my question is, I was just looking at an article about signs of a critical, like symptoms of having critical parents. And I was like, wow, I have all 16 of them. And I was like, you know, I was thinking kind of like, how dare people kind of like treat their children like the way that they do, to grow up to have all these mental health issues or whatever may have you as an adult. And I'm like, well, how do you get over that? And I'm basically like, I hear it. I watch the show sometimes, and I basically hear how before he kind of goes into his the subjects, different subjects, he tries to get the person to let go emotionally of all of that. And so, is that part of the key, or is that the key to really surviving and being here in this reality and being able to just is that the key to not being attached, is just to detach yourself from everything emotionally? That's my question. That's all I got. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Wow, what a powerful question. And the answer was within the question. You know, it is the key to everything. The emotional body. The Chinese knew it. They knew it. That's where they got acupuncture from. They knew if they hit certain meridians, okay, and certain chi points, that there was a energetic body that was attached to the physical body. And that when that energetic field was disturbed, it led to physical illnesses. And if you could release the blockage from that channel, it would heal the body, because the body is self-healing. There is no medicine that is a cure.
Deep.
There is no medicine that is a cure. Every medicine just assists the body in what it naturally does. Food doesn't go into your body and do something for your body. No, your body takes the food, breaks it all down, uses acids and compounds, and then turns it into a liquid, and then breaks that down into a chemical compound that is picked up by the cells, and then and there's a key code that's created for each cell, and it shoots that in there, and then the mitochondrion goes in there, and then it eats it up, and it swims around within the cytoplasm, and then it goes into the nucleus, and it charges up it, and then it reproduces, causes fusion. The body is completely self-replicating. Most illnesses outside of you breaking a limb or physically hurting yourself comes from an emotional energetic blockage. And the way to release those things outside of EFT, you can look into that, which is emotional freedom tapping. It's a way that you can literally tap on those meridians and cause and speak certain words that cause the vibration of those words while unblocking those meridians, causes the energy to flow in the direction and releases all kinds of endorphins into the body, and it's amazing, right? So you could also accomplish that with things like the Sedona method, in which you just ask yourself a series of certain questions and answer them from your heart. And the moment you answer from your heart, you begin to let them go. And when you let them go and that energy realigns yourself, the thought patterns change immediately, instantaneously. It feels like a weight has literally been lifted off of you. Because they taught us backwards. They taught us that we have to figure out our problems, that life is hard, that things aren't going to always go your way, right? These are things I know that in America we all have heard or been heavily sedated with, right? Money is the root of all evil. What? Money is the construct from the mind. It's not an entity that exists on its own volition. The actions and intent of people is the root of all evil. And the root of all evil is fear. Evil just means the absence of love. And you are pure love. For if that's your belief system, you were created by that which is pure love. So the moment you let something in, evil can't exist in the presence of love. The pain and the sorrow and the anxiety can't exist when you let it in and it faces true love. It dissolves. So yes, the answer is release. Release. Let it go. Let it go. Whatever is happened to you, check and see if it's happening to you right now. If it isn't, it's just a story. And that's all I had to say, brother.
Appreciate you, good brother. Shouts to the whole Wreck mob and everybody tuned in. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, like, hit the bell so you can get all future notifications. Go through the channel, has a lot of content, a lot of exclusives. You know what I mean? I got an exclusive interview with Lord Jamal. It's like 3 clips up. Got an exclusive interview with my man Dex Diamond from Murder Inc. He's going into all the, you know, federal investigations and what really happened. You know what I mean? So he got a crazy story. So on that note, check that out. My new podcast, the Backstories Podcast. That's on Spotify. Check it out. You know what I mean? What else? Oh yeah, the Spooky Hours TV show dropping any day. Log on spookyyhourstv.tv. Appreciate y'all. We're gonna do heavy gems. Who knows? Maybe in a day or so, depending if it's some content come out, or maybe next Tuesday. We usually go every Tuesday, but today we decided to go Wednesday. It was we was honoring Granddaddy IU, you know what I mean? Transitioning. You know, he transitioned yesterday. So he's honoring his contributions to
And he
the
left the light on the world, though. He
yes,
transitioned, but he left us with something.
correct.
Something that we can share with our family, with our friends, and we can enjoy with ourselves.
Facts. So
Because I know I went and pulled up something new because that was, I'm
yes.
telling you, So,
Classic.
hey,
Classic.
I'd just like to end on a release, if that's okay. Usually we start with a release, but I just wanted to end on a release, if that's all right with you.
Let's get it.
And then we could just, you can just end it from there if you want. Like, I'm good with it. And so I'm gonna just do the Sedona method, and I just like everybody to know, like, first of all, this is not like the silver method. Usually, if I do that, I would ask you to not do this or participate if you are driving or operating heavy machinery or doing anything, that you could possibly get hurt doing, because those things are very transcendental and they put you into a state within. So the
Hold
Sedona
on.
method.
Talib, hold on 1 second. Let me shouts to Peach on the super chat. She said M.Reck should interview the Wreck Mob. Maybe one day I will. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. And then somebody else, 1 second. Also, I need everybody to leave a comment in the regular comment section when it's rebroadcast. That's very important. It's like 700 people in here, and then people who's gonna listen to the rebroadcast. I need everybody to leave a comment, leave a like. You know what I mean? So this can come up recommended on the YouTube recommendations. All right, Talib, you could do what you do, my brother. Sorry about that.
Oh no, thank you, brother. So I would only ask that with the Sedona method, that when the questions are asked, do not think about them. Just allow that answer to come to you, and just be open to the experience. So in this moment, just be what you are, and be what you are, and be what you are, and allow yourself to focus in on an area in your life where you may not feel there's much light, or there may be some turmoil or confusion. And in this moment, Could you just welcome it and let it be here the best you can? And could you check and see if there's any wanting to change that thing, to make it different, push it away or pull it closer? A lot of the times, the things we were experiencing, we have a deep desire to want to make them different. And if you do, could you just welcome that and let that be here? And could you check and see if it feels personal, like it's about you? And if it is, could you welcome that and let that be here the best you can? And could you dig a little deeper and check and see if it's coming from a sense of wanting approval, control, security, separation, or oneness? Usually the things that these stories that we tell ourselves has to do with one of these five, be it the approval of others or the disapproval, or wanting to be controlled or wanting control, or feeling a lack of security. Whichever one it is, it may be all five, it may just be one, but whichever one it is, could you welcome that and let it be here? And in this moment, the best you can, could you let it go? Let it dissolve, just let it unravel. Would you let it go? When? And could you welcome that all-knowing awareness, that light of consciousness that's always right there, right beneath the surface? Could you let that be here the best you can? And go back to that focus of that issue and check and see if you could just welcome that and let it be here. Whatever feelings, emotions, thoughts come up, could you just let it be here? Could you welcome it? And could you, in this moment, the best you can, could you just let it go, let it dissolve, let it unravel? Would you? When? Wow. And that is the technique. It's very powerful. I feel something. I always do feel something when I do a release. And that is the Sedona method. For those that don't know, it was created by Lester Levison. The Sedona method, you can look it up. It's currently being conducted by Hale Dwoskin, and it's been around for 50 years. And there are a couple million testimonies, hundreds of thousands of testimonies, hundreds of thousands of testimonies toward what it's done and how long it's been around. So for anybody that would like to go further into it or just know, well, what was that and why did I have that sensation? You could actually go and look into that yourself and see that it's a system that they don't even charge you for, because they're just trying to help change the world. And they've been around for 50 years and you probably never heard of it. So that's what I wanted to share. I hope it did something. You could play that back as many times as you like and see what happens. Play with it a little. You can learn that yourself and share it with your friends and your family and practice it on yourself. And that's all I had to say. That was it, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. That was powerful. Powerful live today, man. Thank you. That was amazing. So on that note, salute to the Rec Mob. Salute to everybody who tuned in. that was new to the show. Salute to everybody who been tapping in. Appreciate everybody. Thank you. And also, I need everybody to leave a comment as soon as this video rebroadcast on the YouTube page in the regular comment section. I need that comment, please. That's gonna help with the algorithm, because the algorithm is definitely gonna, try to disregard this type of content. So, the power is in the people. Man versus the machine. All right. So just think along those terms. So on that note, appreciate y'all. Love is love. Thank you for everything. Thank you for all the support. Tap into that Spooky Hours show. We did one, what was it, Sunday? TV show dropping soon. For all updates on that, spookyhourstv.tv. All right. That's the website. So on that note, also hit up the community to get all updates on heavy gems or anything I'm doing. It's always in the community section on this YouTube page. And follow me. My social media links is at the bottom below, strolling across the screen. Appreciate y'all. Shouts to SJ, Double Deuces, and Bubble Gooses. Spooky Hours on Sundays, as always. And Heavy Gems is usually Tuesdays, but Heavy Gems could go live at any given time on any given day, because you see today we went live at 2 p.m. We usually do 8. All right? Appreciate y'all. We gone.